G'day whisky lovers, my name's Tim. Welcome to the Hard Malt channel once again. Today I'm doing a review of this rather tasty single cask release from Maltbarn. Before I get into this, you'll see I've got some of this poured into my glass already. The reason being, this is an 18-year-old single cask whisky, and I always find I try to live by the age-old rule of a year in the cask, a minute in the glass to let it open up. But just while it's sitting in the glass, I'll just give you some quick notes on the nose. Straight away, as soon as I poured it, the first big note I got was salted caramel coming through. It's now already starting to change into a little bit more of a salty, savoury sort of a note. But before we get too far into the nosing and the tasting, about this bottle, so as I said, this is a single cask from Maltbarn. Maltbarn is a independent bottler based in Germany, and this is a Secret Orkney, or says bottled at a Secret Orkney distillery. Now we know in fact this is actually Highland Park, so that's where it was distilled. Distilled in 2007, bottled in 2025, so it is 18 years old. It also tells us matured in a bourbon cask. Now I believe this to be a refill bourbon cask. There is 108 bottles, so just 108 bottles of this one was released. Bottled exclusively for the Whisky List Rewards Australia. So the Whisky List, as some of my fellow Aussies will know, is one of the major whisky online retailers in Australia. They organise a lot of exclusive bottlings, as well as all the mainstream stuff. They also arrange a lot of different whisky shows. Now, no, this video is not sponsored by the Whisky List. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I pay for my yearly rewards membership out of my own money, and that gets me access to some of these exclusive bottlings, of which I've got about half a dozen of the exclusive ones now in the cabinet. So coming back to this one, so this also tells us on the label rather excellently, there's no colouring, no chill filtering. It's bottled at 52.7%, and as we said, it's a 2007 vintage, if you like, and it's 18 years old. So it's going to be nothing like your regular Highland Park 18, which has a lot of sherry influence. This is just purely ex-bourbon casks. And as I said, I believe it to be a refill cask, so the cask hasn't overpowered the distillate itself, so we're going to still get some of the spirit character. Hence, this is nicknamed Spirit Character #1 release for the Whisky List. So coming back to the nose now, I'm getting a lot of the coastal salinity, which is if you've ever had an independent bottling of the Highland Park, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about straight away by that coastal salinity note that you get. It smells like you're standing right on the beach. There's a bit of ocean mist coming up, and it's bringing that little bit of brininess into the air, I suppose. Now, when I say that that brininess or saltiness, it's very evident, but it's not quite it's a bit more subtle than what you might expect from, say, a Bunnahabhain brininess, or perhaps brininess that you get in some of the other Islay distilleries. Now, this being Highland Park is obviously from the Orkney Islands, which is way up north. It's about as far as you could get from the Isle of Islay. So yeah, it's a completely different sort of different, but there are similarities. They do use a little bit of peat at Highland Park, but it's not hugely evident in this spirit. Any peat they do use, it's always comes through very incredibly subtle, even in the regular or the official bottling of a Highland Park 18, which, as I said earlier, is heavily sherried. There is some peated malt in that, but again, even in the official bottle, it comes through very, very subtle. So if there's any peat in this, it's very, very subtle indeed. It's mostly about that coastal sort of sea spray character. There's still some of that salted caramel sitting there, but this is a very savoury / sweet / sour, if you like, kind of a dram. So there is some sort of very slightly overripe fruits in there. I'm talking orchard fruits or white fruits, peaches, apricots, that kind of thing. But it's not hugely fruity. There's just all these different little notes that combine to give you what is really quite a complex dram. Now let's see how we go on the palate. You might hear I always like to take a little bit of air in when I take that first sip and let it sort of swish around the mouth a bit, pick up all the different flavours. So now I'm getting some more of that fruit, more of the caramel, very mild toffee, I would say, as well as a big sort of a savoury, almost a smoked ham sort of a note. But again, all of these little notes are quite subtle, but they all build into what is quite a substantial dram. It's getting more earthy now. There's probably more earthiness coming through as opposed to the brininess. A little bit meaty. Again, I'll come back to smoked ham, the very edges of the smoked ham. Still some fruits coming through, lingering on the finish. Very smooth on the finish as well, but yet slightly warming. So this one I could probably sit with this in winter or late spring, perhaps even into summer, on a balmy evening, as we would say. Now, I will just say that as this is an exclusive for the Whisky List Australia, I have to send my apologies to those of you viewing from around the world. You probably won't be able to get your hands on this unless you've got a friend in Australia that can snap up a bottle for you. There are still bottles available to buy online from the Whisky List at the moment if you're a rewards member. I'll pop a link. As I said, I'm not sponsored by the Whisky List, but if you're interested in these exclusive bottlings available for the rewards members, it's I 100% advocate that it's worthwhile joining up. You get access to these kind of bottlings. You get free delivery no matter how little or how many bottles you buy. A lot of places you would need to buy 2 or more bottles to get free delivery. I can order 1 bottle tomorrow and it's free delivery. You get discounts as well. You get access to monthly giveaways, etc., etc. I won't go on about it. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by the Whisky List, but I'll pop a link. I'll pop my referral code If you do wish to have a look and join up to the rewards members, I believe we both get something out of it if you use my link. Other than that, Maltbarn Highland Park Secret Orkney, delicious stuff. If you do get your hands on it, you're going to enjoy it, I know it. I do promise though, however, seeing as most of you won't be able to get your hands on this, I'm not going to do I'll make every effort not to do 2 whisky reviews in a row of bottlings that nobody can, not many people can access. So therefore my next review will be a bottle that most people can access it, and I'll make sure that I stick to that rule. So I will see you in that next review. Until then, Saint Revoir.